You know, there's going to be those times where you're both happy and disappointed at the same time. And this is one of those cases. This is Alex Palou's 2021 NTT Data Honda from Chip Ganassi Racing, and it's made in 1/18 scale by, of course, Greenlight Collectibles. Now, you can read the quote on the back, so I won't really go over the box too much. Now, we can say this. This is the 2021 IndyCar Series champion. Cue John Cena music, you know, like burr, 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 whatever. He's a champion, and that's something I would have never said was possible if you look back, you know, if you would have told me he would have been a champion a year and a bit ago. But here we are. Now, let's go back to my beginning point about me being happy and disappointed that we got this car. I'm happy that we got this livery. I really, truly am. It was a great looking livery during the month of May. Unfortunately, it crashed once during qualifying, and probably one of the stupidest moves I've seen in motorsport for quite some time, in terms of strategy at least. However, the disappointment factor comes into this. It's on the road course aero kit. So this livery only ran once, and it was at the Indy 500 where he finished second. And of course, the Indy 500 is not ran on this configuration of IndyCar. But yet, Greenlight made it on the road course aero. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want this car. I want more road course cars. I didn't want this car to be in a road course car. But here we are. And of course, Greenlight, it's like they watch my videos and they like it when I they like BDSM. They like it when I fucking spew shit at them, I guess. Because here we are, and like they gave me a car that I couldn't bash, and they made me be able to bash it. Anyways, let's get on with this review. So, on the nose, we have, and by the way, this blue looks fantastic. It doesn't really get done justice on the camera. It's a lighter blue than how it looks on camera, but it looks fantastic. NTT Data, Dallara, Honda. The Honda decal is a little bit misplaced. NTT IndyCar Series, NTT, HPD, of course, Honda Performance Development. The number 10, NTT Data. And then on here, we do have this little line crossing over, transition in the color. Now, that's not a decaling error there with that little line, and there's a little bit more on the back, that not so straight, jagged line. That's accurate to how the car was. And it works. I like it. That's the one thing. Not many people like this car, but I do. Aero screen, there's no printing or anything on it, minus here on the side with the contingencies. So we have Honda, NTT IndyCar Series, and PPG, Speedway gas stations. Over here, it's a little bit tough to read, but we have Siemens, Lincoln Welders, and Sherwin-Williams. This one here, the gaps in the gaps there at the mounting points are not too bad on this one, believe it or not. Firestone Firehawks with the black rims, kind of the same standard thing that we always get. It feels like there's a little bit of steering in this thing, which is kind of cool. Maybe not. I don't know. The suspension's a little bit loose on this one. On the side pod, NTT Data, and NTT Data on the side pod, NTT Data and NTT Data on the mirrors, and then Firestone, of course, because you got to get yourself some Firestones. Now, one negative thing I found is the blue kind of bleeds over into the white here on the shock cover. Obviously, this is the new sculpted shock cover, which looks fantastic in blue, by the way. But there is a little bit of bleed over there from the darker blue to the white. Anyways, we got your fuel buckeye here, NTT Data, Chip Ganassi Racing. This is probably one of my favorite parts is PNC Bank, because, you know, got to rep the other sponsors. And then, of course, powered by Honda. Up here, blue camera bump, and the number 10 in black, which is a little bit of a weird one, but it looks actually really good. And it does, well, I was going to say for a second, it has like a silver outline to the number 10, but it doesn't. It's just the way the light is reflecting off of it. HPD, NTT P1 Pull Award, and Firestone. How many NTT Datas are on this car? A lot. We have NTT Data on each of the flicks. One side's blue, one side's white. Now, on the actual car, besides the fact that it was on the oval aero kit, these NTTs were not here. So another little one. On the rear wing, it's a blue rear wing with the number 10, which looks good. I mean, it's a nice little throwback to when it was like a pretty much all blue NTT car when the livery kind of sucked. But that was in the aero kit days when all the livery sucked. No, I'm serious. They pretty much all freaking sucked unless it was a hum car. Anyways, we have NTT Data twice on this rear wing. However, weirdly enough, it's kind of cut out. Now, if you look at it from here, it looks full. It's still missing a little bit at the bottom of each letter, but it's just the way the decaling is. Now, I do appreciate the fact that they did that, even though they didn't need to. Literally, the one NTT Data on this fantasy scheme would have worked just fine, but no, they went ahead and did two. We got more of the jagged lines there on the transition. And here's the magical thing. It does have printing on the backside of the rear wing. So there you go, Brody. I know you're going to text me that question here when I send you a picture of this car in like 5 minutes. On this side, we actually are looking at this side because it is a little bit different than the other side. So the blue comes over and the jagged line here, and the jagged line kind of continues here underneath this flick. Very nice looking. I do enjoy the look of this car from all sides because one side's majority white, one side's majority, or well, halfway blue. It just works out nicely. Again, decaling stays the same on it. In terms of the sponsors and stuff, excuse me. But overall, though, everything does look good on this car. And underneath, if in case you're curious, it's number 426. And I got this from Gutswear, by the way. Shout out to the guys over at Gutswear. So let's talk about this car. I love the scheme. I have since it debuted at Indianapolis. I was in the minority. By the way, it's nice to be in the minority because usually being in the minority means that you're right most of the time. Or either that or you're not a bandwagoner. But anyways, I was in the minority that thought this scheme looked freaking amazing. And it does. I think the blue and white and just kind of how it's, laid out looks fan-freaking-tastic. I'm disappointed that we didn't get this on the oval aero kit. And this is one of the few times you will hear me say this line. I think, if it's a full season entrant, then we should absolutely get road course kits because most of the schedule is on the road courses. However, I will say this. This is an Indy 500 scheme. Why, oh why, did you decide to put it on the road course aero kit? Good Lord. Anyways, I digress. It's a good scheme. Terrible, terrible rendition of what's trying to mimic. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process behind that was. I know people are gonna buy it and not notice the difference. Like, oh hey, it's the champion. The champ is here. No. For anyone who pays attention, this scheme only ran once. And we should have gotten this scheme on an oval kit. I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't need to reiterate it a million times. Though I'd love to. And I have already to people I text. And people I don't text. And some people I may sext. Just kidding. Sexting is wrong. Anyways. So I love this car. I really do. I would be completely fucking happy if this actually existed. I would be fine with it. But this car doesn't exist. It's a fantasy scheme. It falls in the same category as the Max Chilton car from 2018. It falls in the same category as... trying to think of another good one that didn't actually exist. Wow, my mind just went blank for whatever reason. Oh yeah, maybe Pippa Mann's 164 from 2016 on the Chevy Aero kit. LOL. Again, I just wish they would have done a better job on this one in terms of thinking it through. But overall, though, I do recommend getting it because of the livery. I know, like I said, people are going to buy this because it's an Alex Palou car. He's the champion. I I would have much rather gotten the car that we're going to get as the regular release, but at the same time, though, I do enjoy having this car in the collection. So with that, out of 10 stars, I'm going to give it a 6. Great livery, terrible life choices by Greenlight as usual, and we're going to leave it at that. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the review. Hopefully you got a laugh or two, and we'll see you in the next video, which should be a Scott McLaughlin car, the PPG car, hopefully. I know it's going to be, and I got words for that shit. That one's going to be fun. I guarantee you it's going to be like on par with the Dixon Champion, because they fucked that one up pretty badly. I mean, pretty badly. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.